Hello, welcome to the Creator's Apprentice podcast. This week, I have for you, would you like to see an expert on mentalism and the mind give comments on 24 hours with multimillionaire Kevin Trudeau? That's what we've got coming up for you. With me today, I have got Michael Grady. Michael Grady is a level 8 candidate in the Global Information Network and a patron partner of the Kevin Trudeau fan club. He was first introduced to Kevin's teachings in 2009 with the Your Wish is Your Command CD set and has been following Kevin's direction ever since. Michael has been featured on The Alex Jones Show, displaying how the media uses mind control techniques. He shared the stage with popular whistleblowers like James O'Keefe and has presented feats of the mind on stages across the U.S. He's done TV specials with networks like MTV and has been a special guest on numerous other platforms and written about in newspapers and magazines. Today, Michael's here to share his experience with spending 24 hours with Kevin Trudeau being a fly on the wall at Kevin's house. Michael, welcome. Glad to have you here, buddy.
Absolutely. Glad to be here. Glad to meet with you. You're a
Yeah.
legend yourself. So
Well,
it's great to have a conversation with you.
thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate it. For my audience here, before we get into Kevin, tell us just a little bit about yourself. Give us the dime store tour. Tell us a little bit about the work that you do and just a little bit about that.
Well, before Jen and Kevin, I was a hypnotist, a professional stage hypnotist. I started in my mid 20s, going to high schools, colleges, campgrounds, fairs, going up on stage, bring 20 people up there and hypnotize a bunch of them and have them, forget their name and smell each other's armpits, thinking it smells like flowers, and hearing songs playing out of someone else's shoe, ridiculous things, take on different personalities. And I really get to see what can happen when you utilize different types of methods to get into the subconscious and how you can alter the mind. And that really started when I was younger. My dad was really abusive, and I just prayed to God, God, please help me find a way I could master my mind and my emotions. And a little bit later, I found these books on self hypnosis, and I went really deep on it. So once I experienced my own healing and was able to go up to my dad and forgive him on my own accord after not talked to him for many years, I was just like, why is not any of this stuff known to the public? So I decided to start going out and doing the stage shows and uh, do the therapy sessions. And I ended up getting a recording deal, making hypnosis recordings. And I was very deep into that industry.
Wow.
Uh,
So the
yep.
mind is very malleable, isn't it?
It sure is. Yeah. Hypnosis is real. Manipulation is real. What they do in the media to control the masses is very
Mhm.
real. And Kevin
Very
talks
real.
about length, in further depth than I can.
Yeah.
Um, so I've taken my experience of what I've been able to do hypnotically and then see the patterns in the media and so forth. And so I've made a lot of content and done a lot on that. Interesting thing though, around 2009, when I got the Yours is Your Command, listening to Kevin, eventually joining Jen, I started to come to the conclusion that this hypnosis thing was weird. You have people go into this state where you literally can have them believe almost anything. Uh, if you work at it, you can have them believe just about everything. And I was just kind of getting like this. I don't know if this is right. And eventually, learning from Kevin, uh, that's also something that we are getting is to not be using hypnosis and not be putting implants in our field, uh, and do it maybe the longer route, although the better route. So it's a very interesting conversation, especially in the hypnosis world, that to not do hypnosis, but uh, and so today. When I stopped doing the shows, and the shows were amazing, it was great money. You feel like a rock star, you're like a celebrity for a day at the high school or the
Yeah.
college or something.
Yeah.
Um, uh, I started to search, like, what else can you do? Like, if someone has some kind of issue or an addiction or an emotional issue, and Kevin has been providing really great modalities that as an alternative to me, but really something that works really well. And so I've gone super deep on a lot of the things that Kevin has shared, especially one of the techniques I've found that works pretty much the most of the time, the best is TFT. And I've gone very deep on that and been doing that professionally full time for about 5 years now.
Outstanding. Briefly, before we get into Kevin, tell us, for the audience who doesn't know, what is TFT?
So TFT is basically the ability to blow out blocks that stop you from feeling really good. It is thought field therapy developed by Roger Callahan, who was a good friend of Kevin's, and he basically figured out a way to feel good. You know, when you get triggered, you basically have what he called perturbations in your
Mhm.
thought field, which is all your energy meridians, which is where a lot of your energy flows. And so you can do these specific tapping techniques on different points, and it will blow out the blockage. Now, a lot of your viewers have probably seen like EFT or done some of the general TFT exercises, which are fantastic, and they're going to do so much more beyond with a lot of things you'll find. Uh, what I do is very intuitive and very dynamic, and can basically tune into the person's field, and I'll know exactly what to tap on, what to do, what to focus on, what reversal they're in, what chakras spinning backwards or need to be cleared out, and on and on and on. So I'm very grateful to have been exposed to all of those methods and teachings, and trained with Joanne Callahan and many other teachers too.
Wonderful, wonderful, Michael. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end, and maybe if people want to know where they can find you and do that, we'll talk about that. But let's talk about your 24 hours with the infomercial king, with New York Times best-selling author. Everyone's our big guy, Kevin Trudeau. You spent 24 hours at the house. Tell us what that was like, what your first impressions were, what your deepest impressions were.
The man himself. What other teacher is going to not hold back anything and just expose everything to you? If
First
I
time I've
wanted to
ever seen
open
it.
up his underwear drawer, I probably could have.
Mhm.
I didn't look for it. I didn't think of it at the time, but he's allowing basically anyone who's teachable enough to do this to go into his house and see everything about him.
Mhm.
Right? There's and it gives this impression there's nothing to hide. He's not hiding anything. He's just being who he is, what he's developed himself to be, what he's observed from his masters since he's been through his training. So you can take this on and monkey see, monkey do it. The first impressions I had was it may be a little nerve wracking when you go there for the first time, but they make you feel very comfortable, especially you get to meet Saul, his butler. He may become your friend too because he's a great guy.
Saul's a great
Makes you
guy.
feel at home. Yeah, he really is. Snacks on the table in the kitchen, snacks in your room. Have at it in the fridge. Whatever you want to do.
Slippers, 3 sizes of bathrobes, and like the all organic toothpaste and the hand wash, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I have a favorite toothbrush now.
Yeah, it's like a hotel. It's like a 4-star hotel, 5-star hotel. Yeah.
It is, yeah, and you go around and you get the whole tour.
Yeah.
And so before even seeing Kevin, hanging with Kevin, hearing from him, taking notes or anything, you're basically living like a millionaire for 24 hours.
Mhm.
There was a point where
Yeah.
we were waiting to go to one of the processes dinner, and so we're just kind of hanging out, waiting in the kitchen in the dining room area, and Saul's like, "Hey, you want to try some chips? Or do you want some chips?" And I'm like, "Well, he probably has some of those like beef tallow ones." So I said, "Yes,
And
I want to try some." So I expect to just get a couple. He takes the whole big bag, unopened, opens it up, just fills a whole big bowl of it. I'm like, I didn't want that much, right? But it just to experience abundance and full. I mean, in your room, you have Icelandic water, all in glass bottles, and you have like
Glass bottles,
30 of
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
You know, uh, you're just experiencing abundance and just in an amazing way. And just that in itself is so expanding dream building,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So, uh,
Absolutely.
if that can convey my first impression.
What did your day look like? What did you watch him actually doing? What stood out the most to you?
This might be surprising. The main posture I seen him in was just kind of sitting on his patio with his feet up, smoking a
Yep.
cigar.
Yep.
Um, it's like this man is getting so much done, so all over the internet. Uh, there's all these different businesses raking in how much ever money it is. I'm sure it's a lot. And in the main posture I seen the guy in is just really relaxing and just sitting back. Although that wasn't the whole time, but
Mhm.
um, yeah, in between cycles, just taking his time to go smoke a cigar,
Mhm.
check his phone, his communications, be caught up with everyone.
Yeah,
Um,
that's how he does everything. You know, he's and
yeah.
he I remember him saying to me, you know, I always keep it relaxed, no stress. He's always checking things up. This is a magic tool that we all have, all of us working for his companies. You know what this is, don't you?
Oh yes.
You know, it's never more than 2 feet away from my physical person at any time, just about. And he's like, you just get an enormous amount of things done, but you know, you manage priorities, not time, and you end with no stress. And so yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. Did he do any deals, anything crazy? I mean, you can talk about it if you saw it, but anything, did you see him yell at anybody? Any of the things that I've interviewed a lot of flies on the wall and heard some interesting stories. You got anything memorable?
Nobody got yelled at. No fire the
Okay.
guru. Um, I saw some. Heard some of the backroom stuff of, uh, how much money people are making to sell a book. Uh, some of the booking agent, he had a booking agent he's working on, uh, recruiting. Um, I don't think anything too extravagant, just
Okay.
normal day-to-day stuff, taking care of a
Okay.
bill that he got screwed on that, I think he bought a toilet and they didn't send him the toilet, so now he's working on getting the money back. So interesting to see that scenario and how he's just no trigger whatsoever, no emotional rationality, just totally calm, totally cool. Okay, I guess we'll resort to legal, or something.
Even the world's most successful people have to worry about toilets that didn't get delivered sometimes. You know.
Yeah. Was it the golden toilet? Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any thoughts about like maybe his evening routine when he's not working?
Okay, evening routine. Well, the evening we went to the processes dinner. So maybe it wasn't the normal work till 9 kind of thing.
Okay.
Um, so once we got home, cigar on the patio, catching up on communications, and then going around the house, shutting off the lights, and doing the gratitude. And during my Q&A, I asked him, "Where did you get that from?
Mhm.
And where did you learn this gratitude thing?" I figure you probably observed it from somebody wealthy, and it's nice to know the backstory behind it. So when you do it, it has like a little more meaning and pictures and so forth. Um, and he told a story about J. Paul Getty and how he was walking around his house and they were going to somewhere, and his guests stopped at this painting, and he was like, "All right, guys, we're going." And they're just like, "Wow, this painting is amazing." And he stopped and he went back and he's like, "You know what? I forgot about this painting. I bought it 2 years ago and I haven't really looked at it since." And from that point on, he made the decision to appreciate what he had. Um, and so praying every night for our family and blessing our family and being thankful for and grateful for what we have is something that everybody did, especially back then. I mean, I was taught that with the evening prayers, with my dad. We'd pray and please bless Aunt Barbie, and all these things. But the difference was the people in the Brotherhood knew the power of it, and everyone else didn't. They did it, but they didn't know the power of it. Um, and so he kind of related it to you. It's like you're dating a hot girl, and you've been with her for 5 years, and you kind of forget that she's hot, but everyone else can see it. And so
Yeah,
if you don't continue to appreciate her, she might just go off to someone else.
that's right. Thankfulness and gratefulness. That we could end it right there, Michael. That is a massive nugget of gold for everyone to
Yeah.
take away, because it's something that even people who could stand to make more money, even people who are struggling, forget to be grateful, or they're not grateful at all. It's part of the reason they're in the predicament that they are. It is a secret of the wealthy and the elite. I've had it hammered into me many times, and so you just touched on something really big. So I just want to make sure that everyone watching really dials this in: thankfulness and gratefulness. And some of the most successful people, Kevin Trudeau, to a great degree, practices gratitude every single day. I've seen him go through that process. You remember he and I lived together. So I've seen him
Of
go
course.
through that process many times. And in the beginning, I didn't know what he was doing. I just thought he was going around thinking around the house, and I didn't know in the beginning that it was a gratitude, because he did silently. I didn't know it was a
Yeah.
gratitude procedure
It
back in
doesn't
the
look
day.
like
Mhm.
anything big. He also said how he said he's also slowing time down
Mhm.
during these kind of things, whatever that
Mhm.
means. I was like,
Mhm.
is that suspended reality? He's like, I don't know what that means. Um, Maybe we'll learn at some point what that actually is.
Yeah, my understanding of it is his consciousness can go above the veil, and when he brings it up here, time ceases to exist. You're not on linear time, and so that's what he means when he compresses time.
Mm.
Yeah, but we might get a little bit beyond the purview of this episode here. But when he does a process and he works on the energy of everyone, he literally goes up there and compresses time and can work on everybody all at once. And he can do like the weeks or months of work, and what to us looks like a minute. And so
Yeah,
that
interesting you said that.
yeah.
He- I got to see 3 one-on-ones that he did,
Okay.
and on
Ooh,
the
tell us a little bit
first,
about those. I mean, without breaching
yeah,
anybody's privacy, but I mean, tell us a
oh, of
little bit about
course,
what you saw. Yeah,
no
yeah,
one's name or anything.
yeah.
Uh, so I saw 3 of them. The first one was probably the most impressive. It was a 30-minute one-on-one,
Okay.
and after we were done, he got so much done. He worked on 3 major issues or items, and when we were done, my fellow fly and I were like, "Was that like an hour or an hour and a half?" And I'm looking at my notes because I put the time with a lot of the notes, and I'm like, "That was only 30 minutes." Like, man, we just went through like a time crunch thing or something, and lost track of time, and was like, went into the capsule or something. It was pretty wild. Something happened. I'm not sure. We little disorientated or something.
Mhm.
Yeah. Usually,
Hey,
usually when you're having a great time observing something like that, it would go faster.
yep. You
Especially
maybe
me,
you saw the compression of time, or it seems like an expansion of time, but
or
because so much
yeah,
happened.
yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, I was very observant to it because I do one-on-ones, right? I do the
Yeah,
TFTs
sure.
and
Yeah,
other modalities and things. So I was very carefully watching everything. So
yeah, yeah.
it would be very unlikely that it was a sore, bad, boring time,
Mm-mm. Right.
right?
What do you think was the biggest single thing you got out of your fly on the wall?
This was I'll share you the answer that I gave Kevin as soon as we were done with our vow of silence, and we went out to the back patio to chat. He asked something like, "So, what did you think? What did you get out of this?" A general question, like, how did it go? And I was just kind of like out of myself, and was just, my answer was just like, "I can do this. I can do this system that mega successful royalty, millionaires, billionaires are implementing. I can do this. I can do this. This is something that is actually pretty simple once you got the elements down."
Mhm.
Um, and it was just a grand sense of confidence and hope and faith and knowingness. I was just at a very, very high level of beingness, just witnessing the whole thing and just seeing how he is setting up his whole day where he is just winning and winning and winning and grinning just the whole way through. And he was even saying like, we are winning, like him and Megan working together, right?
Yeah,
We're
we are
winning
winning.
here.
Yep.
Yeah, we are winning.
That's what he
Um,
does.
yeah, and and the a lot of us write to-do lists and things, right?
Yep.
And it can be very stressful when you have a lot of things to do and you're like, oh my gosh, I got the whole thing filled up. I gotta do everything. But the whole twist on the perception of, okay, there's really one thing I need to do today that needs to get done.
Hmm.
All these other things, okay, they don't have to get done today. And so when I came home and did the first day of implementing this, my day started at 2 o'clock.
Hmm.
I sat down early just to kind of look at everything around 1. I did my first A priority. I did another B priority, and I'd look at the and I have nothing else I need to do. I'm done. My day starts at 2. It's 1:30 or 1:40. I'm done.
You're done.
Okay, I guess I'll do some of these other things too because I can make a call here and shoot an email here and whatever it is, right?
Yep.
And the sense and the feeling that you have when you do that is just you feel so good.
Yep.
And
Yep.
how
You're
do you convey
compounding
this to
your
the
win.
camera? You know?
Yeah, I know you're compounding your wins. The way he explained it to me is you never have more than 3 or 4 A priorities, and yeah, it's not even that many. A lot of times when I was with him that one day, he didn't have a single A priority. You get it done
Right.
first thing. You get them done first thing, and everything else is just gravy. And so by noon, you're winning. You've had your day. Anything you do after that is like just, oh, God, here we go. And it is
Yeah.
it's a wonderful mental hack. Some people are going through their days so stressed out. I'm never going to get anything done. He's like a champion, and you get more done that way. You get more accomplished that way. How are you doing now with the priority manager system? Are you using it every day? How are you noticing it affecting your effectiveness?
Yeah. So I've had the priority manager for a while. I've had it for about 3 years. I think I bought like 2 of the last ones that they had available, unless they found some
Okay.
other stock or something. And so I've just the other day I was going through some of the old plan pages and seeing that I actually used it quite a bit, but it just never clicked for me. Like I was writing to-do lists, I was putting my schedule on there, but that was about it. You
Okay.
know, it- I was getting some stuff done, but I was like, so what is so powerful about this priority manager thing? I went through the training that Dan Stamp had, fantastic training.
Mhm.
It just for whatever reason, it just didn't catch on for me.
Okay.
Um, Once I saw Kevin using it and using the master list and the file folders that go with it, and just maybe I just needed to see it all in operation,
Yeah.
it finally
Yeah.
clicked.
Yeah.
It
Yeah. You
finally
need
clicked. And yeah,
the way he does it. You need to see the way he does it. He has the
yeah,
master list. You have the files, the active files. They're always right here within reach. It's literally down to the way
yep,
he arranges his. You can't really see my desk here, but it's a similar setup to what he does, where you
yeah,
can
yep.
always you can touch everything. It's for maximum efficiency, and so your mind doesn't get cluttered up. And your thinking is always clear.
That is, that is probably the most amazing thing. It's I would never expect this. It's like an active meditation practice. I noticed this just yesterday. My partner and I, we went out for a walk in the open space nearby, and I just noticed like I am so much more present and
Mhm.
calm, and I can record any note that I have if it comes to mind, and I almost kind of wait for it. I'm just like, there's nothing. Wow, it's
Mhm.
just peaceful. It's calm because everything is in the system. Nothing most things will not fall through the cracks with the system. I'm still fine tuning it, I'm just learning it. But y- a lot of what you want to do and all your to dos find a place in the system, and uh, I'm only like a week in here,
Mhm.
so I'm still implementing this. However, in this past week, I'll say I've gotten probably more done than, in the past month. And another thing too,
Hmm.
seeing Kevin interact with Megan, his secretary,
Hmm.
I got to see one of their meetings
Okay.
where they are both using the priority manager, and they're using the communication planner system. And just to see what they did in 10 minutes was like what a corporation or a company would need to take a month to do with all their silly meetings that they have
Yep.
in Zoom calls and bouncing emails back and forth, where they just had everything together. Kevin had everything he wanted to share with Megan. Okay, after that was done, Megan had all these things she wanted to share with Kevin or questions for him to clarify. And in the amount of 10 or 15 minutes, they got a week or 2 weeks or a month work of work just done right there. And to observe that was so helpful because I'm in a business with my partner, right? We do clearing work together, have students and clients and the whole deal.
Hmm.
And so when those two priority managers, those two last priority managers were for sale, I bought both of them
Okay.
because I thought maybe I'd want a backup. However, once I came back, I was like, let's get you hooked up with one too.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
And that's been a game changer because instead of now, like when you have an idea, we have an idea for each other and like just blurt it out and tell them in the moment. And then it kind of just goes off into the ether and fades away. We now are jotting what we're going to tell each other down.
Hmm.
And then when we come together, we have a list of things for each other. And then we have plans that we're going to do on top of that. Stuff is getting done. Our goals are actually being written down. There's things that are being put into the ether. And I've already started to see manifestations of the things that have been written down. In fact, she wrote down a to-do thing, and
Hmm.
I just felt compelled to do it one day. I don't know why. I was just like, I forget what the task was, but I was just something I just did. And she's like, yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that, but you already did it.
Yeah, good. You're the two of you are a mastermind. We got Samantha, a priority manager. She's got one too, and I see her when I go home, and she's like got it out on the desk all the time. And
Nice.
the
Well,
things were and in my folders, I have my active folder, I have my A to Z, and I have a David and Samantha folder as a project file. Everything her and I
oh,
are working
wow.
on together.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's what happens. You become a mastermind. You get things done. We're going through the immigration process with her. She's going to get a green card and be here with me.
Mhm.
And it's just that's like running a business. That's like a project with so many things going on, and we're just boom, 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 knocking things out. And it like what you observed with Kevin and Megan working together. That's the way it is here. I am now working directly with Danielle, and so I work with her every day, and she'll come to my office, sit down, have her list, her communication planner on David, and ask me. Okay, she'll have her 4 or 5 things she wants to ask me about, and then I'll have at least that many things to update her on. And in 15 minutes, we've gone through like every major project we're working on, and it's just very efficient. And so, yeah, it's
Yeah.
everyone.
Try to
Everyone
do
when
that. Try to do that without what the system is on
you,
a Zoom call or going
yeah,
back and forth, emails. It's
mental chaos.
chaos.
Yeah, mental
Yep.
chaos. And let me tell you something that some of us who work for Kevin notice when we go to the outside world with like the muggles, the non-magical people, is we'll go to a Zoom call or something, like a business Zoom call that someone else is hosting, like the host is 2 minutes late. And to us that's like abhorrent. It's like that, it's just things that just don't happen. We're not on time, we're early. Early is on time. On time is late. And you just see things like that, a lack of organization, just shooting from the hip, and they don't know what they're doing. And it's you would be surprised how common that actually is out in the world. And one thing I said to Kevin, I'm going to ask you about something else in a minute, but about the priority manager. When I was at the end of when I was able to speak after my one-on-one, I said, Kevin, that's your magic wand, right? Your Harry Potter wand. That's the secret to manifesting. He says, yep. That's it. It's not some magical talisman I mean, those things are all great, but how he really does it and focuses the mind is the use of the priority manager system. There ain't no manifestation secret like just getting more done.
Hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, hidden in plain sight, and it just looks like business people doing businessy stuff. That's what it is. That's the actual
I
secret.
mean, what's the results?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it gets the results. I have found I've been getting better results in my life than I've ever had ever. Because it took me a while. I could be a little dense when I was first learning, Michael. But after
Probably most.
yeah, getting into the habit of really doing it, it's like, wow, I could get stuff done. Look, I got that done. I got that built that. So yeah, it really is. You're getting in shape for the Olympics, and the more fit you get, the faster you get things done. A question about kind of relationships and interactions with people. Um, how have your relationships and interactions with people changed or improved after observing Kevin?
Yeah. Well, my main relationship that I have, I work from home with my partner,
Mhm.
and so especially introducing and getting her the priority manager, um, and me having one as well.
Mhm.
We're just so much more calm and present with each other and relaxed and enjoying ourselves more. How can you convey this? It's, without using this system, it's like you have little strings tied to these balls of energy and ideas that are leeching your attention and leeching your energy
Mhm.
and keeping you from just being in the present moment. And so just that fact of just being able to be present, don't you think, don't you think, if you're super present and just very calm and together and more in a state of a oneness, do you think your relationships with people and who you see is going to go much more easily? Right? Because you're centered, you're together, you don't have the chaos,
Mhm.
with your business and your personal life.
Mhm.
Um, and so I've just noticed it's just been so much easier, and we're happier, we're calmer, we're getting more done, and that in itself has a great feeling,
Yeah,
right?
being calm and present with the person that you love is just a magical formula right there. Which so many of us, when we're not aware, we don't do. It's been, I can tell you, one of my biggest out points in the past for me is not being present in relationships because my mind, I had the beta brain waves going on. I was going a mile a minute. I was neurotic, and it's hard to be present when when you're just like in a constant state of panic and worry, which is what a lot of people are, even when it's low grade.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Imagine that,
yeah.
folks. You can be calm and centered all day long. That
It's
right there is like
possible.
it's a little piece of nirvana in heaven right there. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't even have to be at the in the sunny beach. You could be anywhere and just be calm and present and feel good.
No
Wow.
meditation in a cave necessary.
Yeah, no meditation in the cave necessary. The last big thing I want to ask you is, have anything happened to your income since your time spent with Kevin?
Yeah, um, I haven't changed anything in my business as far as marketing,
Mhm.
although we're working on some video editors and things, but nothing has actually been published. And this past week, because I did it last Wednesday,
Mhm.
has been a record breaking income week. Just, I didn't do anything different, but I am different. You know,
Yeah.
okay, we see Kevin, we observe him. It's very powerful to see success. You see the person who can dance really good, you emulate it, you get a little bit better at dancing. Okay.
Mhm.
But there's something else going on here that is well beyond maybe a lot of people's comprehensions. Although I know a lot of your viewers and gym members, they know this, that Kevin is very able,
Mhm.
energetically. And there's a vibrational transmission. There is a clearing effect that's happening, a transmutation of things. And so you become different or you
Mhm.
become more yourself. It really felt like just observing him, and I could be imagining this, but it's like being tapped into the lineage of all the people he's been learning from. It's almost like I now have the permission to also be the next millionaire, billionaire, whatever I want to be, kind of thing, as well as the transmissions and clearings that I believe he's doing. I mean, I felt a lot of stuff while and just being different. And so, okay, we believe in the law. We know the law of attraction works, right?
Mhm.
We see it.
Sure.
We can use it. And the biggest thing is, and especially with all the training, is we're changing how we are being,
Yes.
mostly, right? And so if you're willing to upgrade to pay for a level, you would definitely be willing to do a fly on the wall, because you will probably get more benefit from that, although they're all very complementary.
Yeah.
If I didn't do the training for the past 15, 14, how many, 16 years, since your wish is your command, I got access to that. I wouldn't have had the experience I had if I didn't have the training beforehand. If I was just hanging out, I
Yep.
probably would still have some kind of transformation. I'm sure those of you who are finding Kevin, in the past few months or years, uh, I'm sure you'll still have a huge shift. However, the more training you have, it's like, and one member said this, David said this, it's like all the seeds that have been planted throughout the training
Mhm.
have finally got enough light and and water and nurturing to finally sprout.
Mhm. Yep.
I just feel
That's what.
so activated, right?
Yeah.
And that's why
Activated.
this is why it goes with money, because I've shifted who I am to a level that's just a whole new level. And I know it correlates with the income, and I know it correlates how people feel about me, right? When we talk to people and interact with them, and they want to do clearings or whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
Or other things too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
When you go all the way
if
back
you
to your
want,
mission, your command, he
yeah,
talks about
go
planting
ahead.
seeds. And it's like
Yeah.
in your own self, when oh, wait a minute, now I'm actually doing the thing that I was learning and saying I should do even years ago. You experience in yourself the seed sprouting. And when you really experience it and can see it in your own self, now you know what that really means. Maybe you weren't ready when you first heard it, but now wait a minute, I'm actually taking the actions. I'm actually obsessive about my goal. I'm actually getting up early and thinking about it and doing it. And why didn't I do this before? The seed hadn't sprouted. It had been planted, but hadn't been sprouted. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I
going
mean,
back and reading Your Wish is Your Command again, and
yep.
seeing the same concepts, it's even more powerful again.
If you don't have this book, guys, you you gotta have it. You gotta have it. I
Gotta have
mean,
it. Yeah. Come on.
it's you,
Come on. What are you
that's
doing not having it?
yeah. Yeah, all the rest of it, can wait. Read the book, if nothing else. Michael, do you have any closing comments on Kevin or your impressions on Kevin?
Uh, I'm sure. About Kevin. He's just a bundle of love, man. He really is. Um, he, very trained, very focused, opens his home to everybody, you know. He doesn't have to do that, right?
Mm. No.
He's implementing the system. That's what he learned, right? So he's duplicating it. Um, in the Q&A, he was, I really drilled him with questions, and he was just very willing to go pretty much anywhere. Nothing was off the table. Even Saul, before we did our Q&A, he's like, even if you want to talk about your anal warts, you can talk about that too. Whatever
I
you
can
want to
just
talk about, nothing's off the table.
I could just hear Saul with that perfect British accent saying that and just totally straight face. Yep. Yep. That's great.
Yeah,
Um,
nothing's off the table with what you want to work on with him.
Michael, where can people find you? I mean, you talked about you do TFT, you do one-on-ones. Tell us a little bit about what you do and then
Sure.
tell us where they can find you.
Well, here's probably the most accessible thing that you may want to go check out is when we were done, me and my fly Artemis, or my fly and I,
Mhm.
when we were done, we took the car. He drove me to the airport, and I filmed a video directly after we were done, and I'm going to post that on my YouTube channel. So if you're
Okay.
interested in this content, you want to see more, maybe a lot of the cognitions and realizations that we didn't explain here, I would suggest to watch that. Also, definitely subscribe to David's channel, because if you like this interview, you don't know who's going to come next.
You don't
Goodness,
know.
This network, I don't know if people, maybe fully understand what this is. I'm going to go do level 8 part 2 in about a week. And it's at a guy's house that's made hundreds of millions of dollars. Who's a member.
Yep. Who's a member? Yep. You get to hang out with people like that.
Yeah. So because of my association, because of my membership, I get to go hang out with a guy who's made hundreds of millions of dollars in his house and go through the training.
Yep.
What else is accessible like this in the world?
Mm-mm.
So if you've been considering joining, following Kevin, you really can. I have,
Yep.
and we're all happy about it, and we're all reaping the rewards. So this is real.
Yeah.
This is a real thing.
It's a real thing. Gang, all the links, the usual links are in the description below. Michael, send me your YouTube video. I'll put a link in the description to this video so people can click on it and take a look. And we'll go from there. It was such a good thing. So glad to have you on the show. Thank you so much, Michael. And for everyone else, we'll be back in a few days with another video. Until then, I'm David Krueger, the Creator's Apprentice. We'll see you next time.